Hello and happy Thriving Thursday. Today let's talk about number 7, possession on a purchase agreement. So we continue our deep dive into mastering the purchase agreement today. So number 7, possession. It reads as follows. So seller shall deliver possession to buyer at closing or by blank days after closing. Closing to apply if no choice is made. So if possession is not delivered at closing, from and including day of closing through date of vacating property, seller shall pay the sum of blank per day. Designated escrow agent shall retain from amount due the seller the sum of 1.5 times the daily fee times total days for occupancy. So the designated escrow agent, the title company, shall disburse occupancy fee due buyer every 30 days upon written request from the buyer. So seller shall be entitled to any unused portion of the occupancy fee as determined by date property is vacated and the keys are surrendered to who? The buyer, listing broker, or a selling broker. Seller is legally obligated to deliver possession as specified herein. If seller fails to deliver possession as specified herein, seller shall pay twice the daily occupancy fee per day and may be liable for cost of eviction, actual attorney fees, damages, or other costs incurred by buyer in obtaining possession and collecting any amount due. So brokers have no obligation, implied or otherwise, as to the condition of the premises or for seeing that premises are vacated on date specified. So it's a long one. So the first blank is selecting whether or not the seller will be given any time to live in the house after closing, and if so, how many days. So it is important to note that the daily charge begins the day of closing and includes the day that the keys are given to the buyer. So determining the daily rate can make or your offer stronger or weaker, provided that the seller actually needs or wants post-closing possession. So a general daily rate was 1/30th of PITI, which was essentially the new owner's monthly mortgage payment divided by 30 to determine a daily rate. Since this is an unknown until closing, you could choose to do a set flat rate per day, or you could choose not to charge a fee at all. Sometimes you could offer free occupancy for 15 days and start charging on day 16 through 30 in an effort to entice the seller to move out quicker. So this blank on the document is pretty small, so if you need, you could always attach a blank addendum stating the occupancy things to the PA or use the last line in the purchase agreement. So the title company will hold 1.5 times this amount per day. The extra half acts as a security deposit in the event of any major damages to the home. So if you choose not to charge a daily rate, then make sure in number 41, other terms and conditions, you have the title company hold a damage deposit. So if the seller leaves early, they're only going to pay for the days they used and they will get back the rest of the escrow money. So there's a form you will receive at closing, which should be filled out by you, the agent, and then the buyer and seller need to sign it. You'll then email that form to the title company and it tells them who gets what amount of the funds. It's important to let your sellers know the date and time they need to be out by and the consequences for not meeting that date and time. So they could be charged 2 times the daily rate and could have legal action taken against them. So the last line says, us as the agents aren't responsible for the condition of the premises, and we aren't responsible for making sure that they are out when they are supposed to be. Well, I know we are all good agents, and we're not just gonna abandon our clients, either buyer or seller, during this occupancy period, but we aren't responsible for physically removing someone from a house. So unfortunately, if the seller isn't out on time or refuses to leave, that would be the job of the police and the courts, and the end of our licensure kind of ends there. So this one can really help your offer get accepted and can also possibly cause some headaches after closing. So it is really your job to make sure your client is informed of the consequences of either giving or receiving occupancy. It is always their decision. We just need to make sure that they are making an informed decision. So I hope you continue to practice kindness out there. Have a great weekend and a wonderful, thriving Thursday.